Welcome to the Fry-Right system. Due to current industry habits and standards, the chemistry of frying is destroying your oil's integrity. This is ruining your customer's experience and ultimately reducing the frequency of their repeat business, without anybody knowing why. Is frying really just food soaking in oil? Frying is a dehydration process that utilizes complex chemistry. You're exchanging moisture from the food for heat from the oil. The moisture exits the food as steam, which creates what's called the Leidenfrost effect. The Leidenfrost effect is a shield that protects fried food two different ways: force and polarity. The first way is sheer force. The steam literally pushes everything off the surface of the food. The second is polarity, like two magnets repelling each other. Let's get a visual of the force within frying. Here's a video featuring Mythbusters that shows how powerful the force is.
No problem?
No problem.
That's pretty.
As you can see, the force in frying is powerful, and conveniently, every new basket of food has a full tank of Leidenfrost effect fuel. Are you familiar with the statement, when your oil goes dark, your food goes dark? Do you know what causes that? Carbon. When there is a sign of scorch and thick, sticky black plate carbon in your fryer, there is definitely suspended carbon in your oil from the seepage in cooking. The reason your food goes dark when your oil goes dark is because carbon accumulates very rapidly and increases the density of the oil. This makes it heavier and thus harder for the force to push the oil off. The heavy oil probes the shield until it finds a weak point, breaks through, and becomes a conduit that carries carbon particulates onto the food. Carbon is the cause of the charcoal outline and burnt flavor. The Fry-Right system helps employees eliminate carbon. Just look at these before and after pictures. If you're not attaining stainless steel, silver, brand new looking elements, you're not reaching the Fry-Right standard. Carbon elimination. Eliminating carbon keeps the oil light, which optimizes the force within frying, making it easier to keep the oil off the food the entire cycle. Remember, employees have fresh tanks of fuel with every basket. Now that you understand the force within frying and how carbon works against it, let's talk about the more powerful aspect of the frying shield: polarity. Water is polar, oil is nonpolar. This is why they can't mix. When frying, water exits the food as steam, creating a barrier around the food. The oil is repelled by the water or steam, while the force is pushing everything off the surface of the food. In tandem, they work together to create an impenetrable force field. This incredible force field only has one thing that destroys its polar protecting ability. Any ideas? TPMs. Do you know what that stands for? Total polar material. TPMs are polar compounds created in the chemistry of frying through thermal alteration, which is heat, hydrolysis, which is moisture, and oxidation, which is air. Oxidation produces volatile compounds like aldehydes, ketones, alcohols, and hydrocarbons. Through a process called polymerization, TPMs group together in squid-like formations and float around the oil, collecting oil molecules. Then they break those oil molecules by turning them polar. The steam is polar. If the oil turns polar, Houston, we have a problem. The repelling aspect of the force within frying is gone. You can't see TPMs with the naked eye, and you can't filter TPMs out of oil. They steadily or rapidly grow until the oil reaches 24 TPM and beyond. 24 TPM marks the start of two very important things. First, 24 TPM is when cooking oil is no longer fit for human consumption. The consensus of scientists and their research published at the National Symposium for Deep Fat Frying in 2000 is it will make you ill. TPM poisoning. TPMs are not regulated in the USA, so there is no critical from the health inspector if you reach or go over 24 TPM. TPMs are regulated in other countries like Canada, New Zealand, and several European countries. 24 TPM is the European discard point, designated unsafe for human consumption. TPM poisoning does not affect how fried food looks. You can produce golden fried food out of pitch black, high TPM oil. Unfortunately, the 3M Strip program is notorious for this. Have you eaten fried food somewhere and gotten an awful taste and feeling that made you sick to your stomach, even when the food looked fine? That is TPM poisoning. The second important thing associated to 24 TPM is a nasty, terrible, bitter aftertaste that starts to be noticed. This delayed, nasty taste starts in the back of your throat and hangs around for minutes. Every time I have been able to show this to an employee, they are always surprised and say, "Hey, I've tasted this before, but I didn't know what it was." The reason is because when you first eat 24 TPM and higher fried food, it tastes great. It tastes like fried food. You get that fried food flavor burst. Yum. But wait 10 to 15 seconds and bam, you have this icky taste in your mouth and the back of your throat that does not go away for what seems to be a very long time. This completely ruins a customer's entire dining out experience without them knowing what or why. The TPM poisoning leaves an impression with the customer that is not easily forgotten and literally causes a customer's body to not want to return anytime soon. When they are driving down the road looking for a place to eat and they see your place, their body remembers being poisoned and says, "Let's try somewhere else or something new." We have measured VATs from Utah to South Dakota, Idaho, and Montana. Just look at these TPM readings. Here's the crazy thing. We've been able to monitor restaurants in real time through the years and watch TPM readings go over 24 in a matter of days, with 3 and 4 days left on their oil cycle. Every day you serve food from oil at 24 TPM or higher, every fried food item served is ruining your customer's experience and reducing their frequency of repeat business. Anyone who operates the Fry-Right system knows how to work with the chemistry of frying to properly recycle their oil. Their fried food increases frequency of repeat business. A study from Harvard found that if you can increase repeat business by 5%, you will increase profits anywhere from 25 to 95%. The Fry-Right system's goal is to increase repeat business with great fried food all quality cycle long. Operating the Fry-Right system consists of 3 specific protocols. VAT cleaning, which consists of the VAT prep training and VAT scrub training. Quality cycle monitoring, which tracks and interprets your TPM growth so that oil is discarded before it reaches 24 TPM, where it is no longer fit for human consumption. And top-off tracking, which is a simple method for GMs to calculate their top-off, which allows them to spot oil waste issues very quickly. Any questions? Thank you for your time.